Good morning everyone. Welcome back. Grabbed a few hay bales. We're giving them to the heifers. As of recently, they quite like them and it's also just a good way to use them up as well. I've got a few here. But I've actually got Mark from Wingman. He's coming out soon to have a bit of a catch up. We caught up a few months ago. Well, it was probably back in January maybe. January, February, maybe even March, where he did a warrant of fitness on my herd, just seeing where it's at and see where it could potentially go and where I'm going to make benefits or make changes to benefit my herd. And today he's coming back to pick some bulls for mating time. Total surprise for me. I don't know what he's picked. I know one or two of them, but there's going to be 5 altogether, so I have no idea what the other 3 are going to be, but I'm looking especially forward to this conversation. On another note though, field days are coming up. They're actually next week now, so about a week away. I'm going to be heading along on the Wednesday. I'm going to be at the halter tent at 1 o'clock, so if you want to come and say hi, come and say hi to me there. I'll be there for a couple of hours. And then I got something else on, so hopefully I'll see a few of you. Last year I was borrowing a trailer from Scimitar, one like this, just a little bit smaller, and I took it along. This year I was going to do the same, but I'm not. This one is staying here. However, if you are in the market for a trailer or something of the like, go and see the fellas at Scimitar. They're at site C8, which is sort of down by the tractor pull, and I'm going to go and catch up with them. And they've also got transfer rollers and other stuff there, so it's going to be interesting. Go and have a little look and see what they've got. Here's all the catalogues, or most of them anyway. That's ST, CRV, LIC, worldwide sires. There's also Salmon or C-Mix, but I'm not sure if I've got their ones. Here he is.
What have you done to the place?
Oh, mind all the bikes and stuff.
What have you done to the place? It looks green.
Oh, I know. It was pretty brown last time, right? How are you?
Very good to see, mate.
Yeah.
Jeez, it's a wee bit different compared to last time, isn't it?
Oh, amazing, eh?
What a difference some rain, mate.
Today is the day. What have you got for me? I've said on camera before, I know a couple of these bull choices, but so what are we going to do? Pick 5 going into mating?
I think we're going to pick 5 going into mating, mate. I think based on the conversations that you and I had previously, and apologies to everybody out there who got upset when we said we were talking about putting Neptune in the bull team. I know that created a fair bit of consternation in the ranks, but there is a genuine reason why we'll put him in our team this year. That's not to say he'll be there every year. He may or may not be, but I think to have a bull which is going to be an outlier to improve the udders for your once a day system, or even if you decide you want to go back twice a day for a little bit and then back to once a day, it's a moot point. No, udders are udders, to be fair, and we need to have that step change, and he is going to be the best bull with the best live weight, with the best udder, to help us achieve that. And I think if there's one thing I'm trying to teach all my farmers really, really hard, and that's to become a bit more colourblind. To be fair, to care less about what colour the cow looks and actually what are the other good things she's got going for her. Like, is she the appropriate live weight? Does she have a great udder? Has she got some capacity and rump width and protein and fat and all the other things? Like, the colour's just the colour. It's neither here nor there. It's probably more important for guys, excuse me, maybe who've got straight J16 herds and want to keep them that way. I get that. But for guys like yourself who I think are open to doing things a bit differently, I think there's some massive gains. And it's not like we're suggesting that every single cow is going to go Neptune.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, my cows aren't pedigree. I don't have like contract cows that, they're going to be future bulls and stuff. I just want a good, solid cow that's going to produce the goods. I mean, that's at the end of the day how we make our money, is through milk. Agreed. And if we can get better cows by doing it, I'm definitely open to it. And look, I can see where you're going with it.
Yeah, and look, I mean, part of that conversation we had in the paddock last time was it's only going to be, let's say we get, 60 odd replacements, 15 of them, or 10 or 15 of them might be from Neptune. You're only going to have a very small percentage of your calves which are going to be J13, J3, J13, F3. For Neptune's F10, Neptune is J10, F6.
Oh, yeah.
And then we put him over a Jersey, which is J16.
Yeah.
So then we add everything up and divide it by 2. The offspring are then going to be J13, F3.
Oh, so you put that back to a Jersey the following year, and it's pretty much near J15 again.
Then we'll be back to Jersey again with a damn sight better udder, and hopefully a little bit more protein.
Might have a little bit of different colour markings, but eventually they'll wash out.
Just keep going back to Jersey to wash it out. But I mean, that's, again, like he's a great live weight for your system, to be fair, mate. And there's no other bull with that live weight that I think comes close on udders. And if we want to affect a step change in udders, plugging them into your worst 60 cows on udder, we might get 15 cows out of it. Or probably less, actually, given we're going to make a percentage of your herd to beef.
Yeah.
So for the sake of argument, say 10 calves, is it really worth getting hung up on a few mousy brown cows?
No, I'm not too worried about it. Don't worry me.
No, and I think he was, like I said, based on that conversation we had in the pack, he is absolutely going to be a starter. And I think the other starter has to be Berkeley. He's too good at the moment, mate. Like we put him in a lot of teams last year, and we put him in a lot of crossbred guys teams as well, simply because if we needed a bull to bring the size down of any big crossbreds, or bring the size down of any F14, 15 bulls, and push them back towards the middle of the live weight equation, he was that boy. Great udders, good protein. He'll go right on the herd, and I think he will go in our herd as an all-rounder. I think when you've got your cow up in front of you, that you think that you like everything about her, she's not particularly bad at any one thing, I think Berkeley's going to be a boy. Because I've got Superman down here as a question mark, and Purity PKD Hallmark for a size. And look, we were incredibly lucky to go and burgle a few straws of him before he got sold out.
Yeah, so the third bull there is Hallmark, which is a CRV bull, and I was pretty lucky because I got an email sent out saying that he was short on straws, so put your orders in. So I did. I grabbed 50 straws and a few sex ones right after the email came out. But now he's been taken out of the book. Really,
I think he's on holiday for a wee while, which is a bit unfortunate, really, because I'm incredibly excited for guys like yourself and a couple of other our wingman guys who have got straws of him to put into animals. But then the hard thing about this thing is it's a long-term game, and it's going to take 3 years before we see them. But just looking at what he's bringing to the table, I think from memory he's 520 kilos of live weight.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a big hero. Oh, look at that! Open up to the first page. 525 kilos of live weight according to the CRV book. Look, that's a big bull, man. And the other cool thing I love about him, 33 kilos of protein.
Yeah.
Like that's money. That's money all day, every day.
Everything's there, eh?
Oh, and look great on udder overall at 0.7, and ripping on dairy confirmation at 0.95. So you just, as a bull to use in your herd, to be able to help bring the size up of some of those smaller 2 and 3 year olds that we saw in that last clip last time. Far out, man, like what a bull. What a bull to be able to use that.
So he's proven, he's daughter proven.
Yeah, he's daughter proven, mate.
All these bulls will be daughter proven.
Yeah, and I think it probably speaks volume about your approach, that you're prepared to shop across catalogues.
Yeah.
Because I think based on my wingman guys this year, if you're a parent breed farmer and you've either got Jerseys or Friesians, no one company has the monopoly on the best bulls. I think to get the best out of any herd improvement this year, at least for daughter proven bulls anyway, you've got to be looking in all the catalogues.
Yep. No, that's cool.
Right.
So,
1, 2, 3.
We got 3.
We've got Hallmark.
Hallmark, yep.
For it to increase the size and strength of our animals.
That's CRV.
We've got Berkeley.
LIC.
For an all-rounder. And we've got Neptune as our udder improver.
LIC.
So we've got 3 from 5.
So what's the other 2?
Oh, there's another 5 I've written down.
Oh,
here.
true.
Yeah. So, Superman.
Yep.
Given how well he looks on once a day, and we did see some very, very good Superman daughters in your herd, I felt like he at least deserved to be included in the conversation.
Yeah, I was actually having a look through mine the other day, and I seen a tab that Superman. I was like, Mark's done it.
I mean, your wingman has been tutuing in the back end. I had to make that group up, mate, just to have a look, and there was enough good cows in there that said to me he deserved to be part of the conversation.
Yeah.
So that's Superman. There was another bull from CRV called Charnock. Good live weight, pretty handy udder overall at 0.63. Great capacity at 1.1 on the right side of the rump width conversation. So the average rump width for Jerseys, the breed average is negative 0.18, and this guy here is 0.05. So he's 100% better for rump width. So I think he deserves to be part of the conversation. That's not to say we'll end up picking him, but I think at the end of the day, it is about casting our nets far and wide.
Yep.
And being prepared to look in a few different catalogues for it. And then there was another interesting LIC bull who we have plugged in a couple of teams this year, and that is Green Mile LQ Takahe. Now we have used this guy in teams to bring the size down of bulls. 55 kilos of fat, 22 kilos of protein, fertility of 5%. The other thing I really like about him is his udders.
Oh, yeah.
To be fair, like 0.82 for udders.
Oh, yeah.
Like really, that's cool, and that's why we've put him in teams this year. You can't, when we're trying to balance out a bull team based on some minimums for udders, you can't not have him as a part of the conversation. So our 3 New Zealand bulls, and there's a couple from CMX. One of them's called To Be Famous. The reason I like this guy was udders. This guy is just an out and out udder improver, more than anything else.
So is he American?
Yeah, he's out of American, Canadian, I think it is. Out of Canada. He's going to be great for udders, but he's not going to be much of a cow to look at, if you know what I mean. Like udders, he's possibly not going to have maybe the rump width or the stature or the strength, but he's going to go okay on udders and pretty good on production. Whereas there's another, his mate who's won two over from Artemis, who ironically enough is a To Be Famous son. Artemis, if you read it,
protein 44 kilos. Is that relevant to what we class them on over here? Possibly.
But trying to look at picking the two of them in the context of their own evaluation. This guy here, see, it's got memory system 6, like not as good on udders, but I mean, again, like what does a 6 relate to relative to what in New Zealand? And that's probably the challenge, is trying to work out. Does a 6 equate to, for argument's sake, say a 0.6 udder overall, or a 0.7 or a 0.8? But anyway, the reason this guy is part of the conversation, assuming that his udders are as good as, if not better than, the New Zealand Jersey udder, this guy's way more of a cow. To Be Famous is our udder bull. Artemis could be our strength bull.
Yeah.
And that's assuming if we wanted to dabble in some of the overseas stuff. I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it. Just looking at it, I'd probably like that one better. Yeah, but that's just first glance.
I don't think we need to have 2 in there.
No.
I think maybe if we wanted to try some straws of 1,
that would be enough.
That's cool. Or if let's say for argument's sake we wanted to get 60 straws, maybe get 30 To Be Famous and 30 Artemis, and have a look at a small number of heifers
from each.
Out of each.
If you're picking the 5, or no, we need 2 spots. If you're picking the last 2 spots, what would you go with?
Having looked at your herd and looked at other once-a-day herds, Superman for me has to get the nod.
Alright.
Because he has gone well. Look, we've got 2 other once-a-day herds. One of them's a Jersey cross herd in Taranaki, and the other one is a straight Jersey herd at Te Puke. Superman daughters have gone exceptionally well on that once-a-day system.
In both those herds?
In both those herds, mate. And we saw it here in your herd last time. Maybe if I just saw it in your herd, but I didn't see it in my 2 other once-a-day herds.
Yeah.
I might struggle. I might question. Is this a one-off? Is this a once-a-day farm Andrew Mackey special? But having seen it in 2 different locations in 2 different herds, I just looking at the numbers. Keep going, mate. He's in the
I was going to say, you're right in the back now,
section. He's in the back now. Yeah.
Still good fat and protein, eh?
Yeah.
Fat and protein's all right.
Yeah.
Udder overall 0.67, so better than average.
Yeah. That would be the trade-off we would make by putting him in there, is that he would go over your good uddered cows. You know what I mean? So we'll accept. Let's say he's 0.7. We put him over a 0.8 cow. Put him over a 0.9 cow.
Jeez, I don't know if I'd hit many of those cows.
Just humour me here, because it makes my math real easy.
Yes.
So he's 0.7. He goes over a 0.9 cow. 1 plus dad divided by 2, 0.8.
Yeah.
Like we will trade off some of his udders, and by putting him into a good cow.
I mean, he's 0.6. He's 0.7 for udders. I mean, even if it went into a 0.2 cow, or would you put something that's stronger in the?
Yeah. That's a Neptune conversation.
Okay.
100%. When you see those udders that are just, you'll know when you see them. That's a Neptune conversation. I think he's going to be. Maybe he's going to be a bull that you use when you don't know who to use. Maybe we use him in those cows that look after themselves too well, and to try and strip some weight off them, and maybe put them back into more of a once-a-day frame of mind.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, what is he for BCS?
Body condition minus 0.07.
Oh yeah.
Rump width 0.36.
We're gonna have this conversation real soon. Again, mate, look, that's why I made that group. That's why I made that group on Winder for you. It's too good, and I've seen them in those other once-a-day herds. That negative 0.07 BCS is offset by that once-a-day system which you guys all run. Great for capacity, great for rump width together.
Yeah, I'm happy enough.
I'd struggle to go away from him, to be fair, mate. I just that whole seeing is believing thing, and seeing him on that once-a-day system. Yeah, I think he deserves his name. He deserves a start. So we've got 4 out of 5.
at the end of the day, can't pick the 4th today, haven't got enough time. Mark's going to do a bit of homework, get the right bull for the 5th one.
So do we actually need a 5th bull in the team? Like, I'm not just going to put him in there because we're going to pat ourselves on the back and feel good because we're trying some different shit. Like, that's, if I genuinely think we're only going to need 4 bulls, then I will tell you, I think we're only going to need 4 bulls.
Yeah, not picking quantity, it's quality.
100%.
So.
Something else, and we'll just go back to the Superman's capacity and rump width. I was having a look at a couple of Jersey herds the other day and pulled out some really intriguing data about capacity and rump width. And like, when I'm in the paddock looking at people's cows and talking to them, I find myself banging on all the time about capacity and rump width. And on my little spreadsheet that I've got for everybody's figures, or everybody's data rather, capacity and rump width sit next to each other. And I happened to be looking at those 2 columns and go, oh, I wonder what happened if I put some filters on those 2 columns. And put a filter on those columns, and the results just blew me away. What I'd seen in the paddock was then supported by the data. And what I'd done is I'd filtered the capacity and rump width BVs by breed average. So I clicked the little filter button, and then I put, basically ignore all the animals who are less than negative 0.18 for rump width for Jerseys.
Oh, yeah.
So that got rid of, I'll find your results here. That got rid of a heap of cows. So, start at the very start. Your herd B-dub is 351, P-dub 335, live weight 455. So you've got 315 cows in your herd at the moment. That was what Minda told me the other day.
Yep.
So, the capacity breed average for Jerseys is 0.27, and the rump width breed average for Jerseys is negative 0.18. Back to the conversation. So I clicked the rump width filter button, and I made the data ignore everybody who had a rump width of less than the breed average.
Yep.
And that gave me, you've got 171 cows out of 315 who are above breed average for rump width. Interestingly enough, and here's where I picked up the real gold. The BW of those cows is 368 against your herd average of 351. The PW of those cows is 348 against your herd average of 335.
They're both better, yeah.
Both were better, and that's absolutely intriguing, given that neither capacity nor rump width are a part of BW.
Interesting.
It blew me away, mate. Like, I just thinking back to how often I'm banging on in the paddock about capacity and rump width, Like, you got to,
and it comes through on the paper.
Shit, mate. Like, it's been one of the coolest gems, or if not the coolest gem I've found in the last 3 months out looking at people's herds, mate. And to see that stuff which would seen in the paddock supported by the data, and look, this is not any great degree of statistical analysis. This is just putting some filters on and going, that's really interesting. Because as I understand it, the only TOP trait in the BW calculation is udders. There's no thought given to capacity, no thought given to rump width. And look, this is what I'm trying really, really hard to do, along with teaching my guys how to be colourblind, is bring sexy back to the TOP traits. Let's have that conversation about capacity. Let's have that conversation about rump width. Because based on the 2 Jersey herds and now your one, this is massively important for Jerseys, and I dare say it is probably important for Crossies as well. Friesians it might be a touch different, given they're already starting from a breed average of 0.35 or 0.36. The Friesians are already starting with a big ass. But Jerseys, who are starting with a little ass like this, like it's almost like an exponential game. So capacity, so then I was already rump width. So then I got rid of the rump width filter, put that back to 0. And then I told the spreadsheet to ignore all the cows who had a breed average, who were less than breed average for capacity. So that was 0.27. And you in your herd, you have 205 cows who are greater than 0.27 for capacity.
Oh, yeah.
And the same thing occurred again. BW is 366, PW 345.
Still ahead, yeah.
It's still ahead. Like, obviously not a massive amount ahead, but still ahead. And that's happened independently of one another. Yeah. Which blew me away. And the cool thing about both of those results is that the live weight remained the same.
Oh, yeah.
The live weight of your herd is 455, and these two, the capacity cows were 460 kilos average, and the rump width cows are 460 kilo average.
Interesting.
Of that is we're getting free production for no extra increase in live weight.
Yes.
Like, that's massive to not be having to use live weight as a proxy for production. If we can keep that live weight the same and improve those TOP traits of capacity and rump width, like that's another 13 PW points higher for rump width and 10 for capacity. Has it cost you anything to get that,
no,
other than just picking your own bulls?
So, if you went back to your spreadsheet and you took out the herd averages for both those things, how many did you work that out? How many cows would be in that mod?
Yeah, of course I worked that out. So, out of your cows, you've got 122 cows who are above breed average for both capacity and rump width. Mate, it's just the BW of those cows goes up again. Now we're at 377 BW against your herd average
That's
of
almost
351.
Or 25
That's 25 points
yeah.
effectively above for not doing anything. Not so, like, you've got to remember, like, I'm not selecting these cows based on BW. That is just the BW.
That's the consequence.
BW is the output, and the PW was only 351. So again, we're still 35.
Another 15
15 points above. Herd average, and the live weight has increased slightly to 465 kilos.
So come mating time, do I need to put these 122 in a different colour, and so when these come on, if they're early, 16 in them?
Is it such a silly idea, to be fair, because there will be your elite cows on a PW basis will be in that group.
But shall we have a look at some heifers?
Heck yeah, let's go look at some heifers. Close. Beautiful. Very good.
There's that one there actually, that Lamar, that number 40.
Oh, bit of white on her.
Yeah.
Gee, that's a nice strong heifer, mate. Yeah, that's a real.
She's got a bit of size to her though, eh?
She's a little bit taller than the rest of her counterparts.
I don't know if she's bagging up, hopefully she is, and she'll be in calf.
Interesting that you talked about selecting for rump width and capacity for the last 3 or 4 years.
Yes.
I think it's coming through, eh?
I'd like to think so.
We not the few heifers that I quickly looked at when we're driving into the paddock, they haven't got those narrow little pinched up pins. Like it just, yeah.
It's a bit hard to look at them, they're so inquisitive, but...
Oh, that's nice. She might have the goods, eh, mate?
She's bagging up a little bit. She could be in calf. Still another 50 days till they calve. No, I think I'd like to think what I've done in the past is working all right.
So that's a real good sausage cow.
Yes.
Can you see how, like, it hasn't got a very deep brisket and it's just all sort of one length all the way along? Like, it's got just like...
Not there.
No. Yeah. But then again, where's old mate who had a big fat deep guts on it? That's why I think it's what I've seen in herds, why it's so important to have both parts of that rump width and capacity equation. One without the other doesn't work as well. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because capacity's the front of the brisket, isn't it? Yep. Like how deep it is through front of the...
How deep and how wide it is. Like I probably think about it, it's like when you're standing like 4 square onto somebody, instead of standing like that, like if you're standing like that, like you own
like
the
a
ground.
prop.
Hey, like what?
Like a prop.
Yeah, mate, like a prop. Like owning that ground with those front feet stand on, and then rump width at the back. Just so much of that back half of the cow just gets driven by the rump, because if you've got a skinny little narrow pinched up rump, where's the udder going to go?
Yeah.
It's only got one place to go, and that's down. Whereas at least if you've got a big wide rump to hang it all on, everything gets to sit up higher, and then that also then affects the back legs, because then if you've got a nice and udder that's attached nice and high, then the cow's legs aren't going to have to go like that to walk around a skinny little udder. She's going to be able to walk with 2 nice straight legs that are going to follow. Legs.
Makes sense to me. Jeez, look at that, they're really getting into it, eh? All right. Loving the hay. As you can see, they're not short on grass though. They've left a fair bit behind, which doesn't worry me. But they need a bit of roughage just as good.
Mate, the growth rates have been out the gate, eh?
Yeah.
Absolutely out the gate. Like, it's 3rd of June and it is not cold.
No, it's not.
Cold for the 3rd of June.
Jeez, that is a nice cow, that 40, isn't it? Look how big she is compared to the others. Yeah, far out.
I'm really excited about her, mate. We have to put a little note on her file somewhere. And
put an asterisk on it. Mate. We were talking about rump width of Superman being 0.35, and that...
he's 0.4, I think.
Is it 0.4?
Yeah, I think it's 0.3 for capacity and 0.4 for rump width.
It's really hard to show you on here, but that cow there, she's a Superman daughter, and she's just real wide in the back compared to her counterparts.
So what is it, 135, that one there we're just looking at?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So Superman works, as we can see.
Yeah.
So use it again.
That's that short wheelbase cow, eh?
Yeah.
Like, that's a cool looking little heifer, mate.
Well, Mark's here, he's going to do me a favour and go and shoot some pheasants. We'll go and try and shoot some pheasants. We know how they've affected my maize in the past, and it's open season at the moment. During duck shooting, eh?
Yeah, during duck shooting, mate. So it starts first weekend of May with duck shooting, and then finishes last weekend in August.
Oh,
so
yeah.
the season's quite a bit longer than
Yeah,
duck,
quite a long one, eh?
Yeah.
And you got, what, three bag limit?
Yeah, 3 bird limit, yeah. I've got the old dog today, who's 13. Who's been retired for the last couple of years since I got my young dog going. But I thought, shit, it's a nice afternoon. Pretty easy country. Well,
Yeah,
we'll take her out for a hoon.
There's definitely a few around, so yeah, hopefully get a few. But signing off for today, it's I feel like we're going in the right place or the right direction. Looking forward to mating this season, just seeing how we get on. A little bit, oh, not worried, but a little bit anxious to see how we go. If we do go back to twice a day, which I'm pretty keen to do, hopefully our mating results will stay fairly similar. I think the fertility's there, we've just got to feed the cows better through coming up to mating will be sweet. Questions is though, going forward, by only limiting yourself to 4 bulls, you've got a very small breeding pool, or going forward, then you need to start looking elsewhere to go out of it. So, I mean, we could use 4 this year and probably the same next year, but then you'd have to start going, or getting other stuff in.
Yep. Or maybe that is where Artemis fits in. Maybe that's an outcross for us.
I think today's been a win. It's been a good day. Know where we're heading. Just need to figure out how many straws and order them now. It's getting pretty late now, so time to wrap it up. But it's always hard editing these videos because, or especially with Mark, because we talk so much and there's so much good stuff to put in there, and I've got to try and cut it down and make it into a time slot which people will watch. I always find it hard because there's a lot of good stuff that's missed out. However, hopefully this video encapsulates most of it. And last time Mark was here, I've had a lot of good feedback. A lot of people come up to me and say it was really interesting, liked hearing what he said, so hopefully this was also interesting as well. But apart from that, see you next time.